Welcome, angels, to Think Outside the Box, where you can try something you've never done before, angels. You can go on an adventure, maybe a mystery adventure. You could try going outside and playing as an adult and just having fun. That and so many other more ways, angels, that you can think outside the box. I am Heather Buzzard of Buzzard's Corner of Love, bringing people back to themselves, where we uplift and inspire you to become who you truly came here to be. Angels, the month of March has just flown by. I remember when I was a kid, the month of March seemed to just slow crawl. Yet I tell you, as you get older, time does go faster. So we are on our last topic for the theme of the month, which is new beginnings. And today we're going to be talking about embracing transitions because all of what we spoke about this month requires us to embrace the transitions in order to experience new beginnings. So I'm going to be sharing with you that I posted on our YouTube channel. I'm going to be sharing a new beginning with you that I experienced this past weekend, but that'll be later in the show. So, wrapping up our theme of the month, New Beginning, we're talking about embracing transitions. And embracing new beginnings means proactively welcoming change and letting go of the past. Yet, I didn't forget, angels. Before we start, grab your drink. I'm drinking root beer. And it's interesting. When I got this drink today, the first thought that this drink took me back to was when I was a child with my parents. We used to go to the A&W in the summertime. Take a sip of your favorite drink. It's amazing what a drink can take you back to your childhood. Take a sip of your drink, angels. Ah, I love my root beer. So, knowing that we have to be proactive in order to embrace new beginnings, one of the aspects is letting go of the past. We have a tendency as human beings to hang on to the past. And I'm going to tell you, angels, my book, Breaking Shame, Reclaiming My Identity, tells you you don't get anywhere if you hang on to the past because you can't change this. All in this book that I wrote that happened to me in the past, I can't change any of it. What I can do and what I did do was accept this version of Heather that was then and love the version of Heather who is now. So that's just an example, angels, of letting go of the past, approaching life with a fresh start. In order to have new beginnings, you have to be willing to think in a new manner. In order to think in a new manner, you have to change your thinking. Change your thinking by being conscious of what you're speaking. Now, I've mentioned many times on this show that I did affirmations for years to regroup that negative line in my consciousness. Time has sped up, so it won't take people as long to catch up with themselves. Yet, a key, letting go of the past and approaching life from a different perspective. I have a friend, my best buddy out here. He helps keep me conscious. He says, Heather, you look at the glass always as half empty. I was like, what? Me, Buzzard's going to love, uplift, inspire, encourage, half empty? What? He said, you're a pessimist. He said, whenever I say something, he said, instead of you looking at it half full, you look at it half empty. I'm like, ugh. So that's just another example, angels, of one way that I don't need to, that I have the ability or the opportunity. We'll put it like that. I have the opportunity to change my perspective and be more consciously aware of that pessimism. And instead of throwing out a negative comment, to think about it and throw out a positive comment. And by shifting that in my thinking, angels, I know it will open up a new perspective. That's just another example of why a new mindset can help you look at life in a different way. Also, a fresh start. You look at a fresh start with optimism, or do you look at a fresh start with pessimism? Example, you might have to move out of your home into another place, or somebody may have a job transfer somewhere that they weren't expecting. Do you look at it as an opportunity and being optimistic about what is forward, or do you look at it as a burden and pessimistic and not looking at it from a fresh start? That again, angels, perspective, consciousness, because If one door closes in life, and I know by experience, if one door closes in life, that means the universe has opened up another door for you to walk through. So, are we being consciously aware of what it is that we're walking through and what we're choosing to say yes to and to say no to? Because in order to embrace transitions and to have this new beginning, we have to approach life from a new perspective. We don't have to, we can choose to approach life from a new perspective. It involves moving yourself out of the way, first of all, but it also involves personal growth. It gives you the opportunity to have more opportunities, or rather than have more positiveness in your life than negativity. And even though you may have a fresh start or a new beginning, you may have some uncertainty in your life and you may not know what's going to come ahead or how you're going to be. You may feel uncomfortable. Yet, I tell you, angels, if you're willing to trust that unseen energy and step into that uncomfortableness and move through it, before you know it, your new beginning will be just you. I'll give you an example of that. Up here on our channel today, we posted a video of my new beginning. I had the opportunity this past weekend to speak to a group of women about breaking shame, reclaiming my identity. And I got to read a chapter out of that book. And angels, that's the first time that I ever did that in front of anybody. I read the book to myself, and other people have read it. But for me to stand up and read my life story in front of others, that was something that was new to me. Yet, when I was up there and I was embracing that opportunity that the lady gave me to speak to these women, it shifted my life. One, I stepped into owning me. Two, this is just a story. It isn't who I am. And I know this. And that's what it can be for you too, angels, not this book. Yet your past can be just a story and not something that you live through every day. And because I've had that opportunity to stand in front of those women, talk about my story, claim who I am today, what I'm standing in, and where I'm headed, it gave me a greater sense of confidence, and I owned myself. That Saturday, this past Saturday, standing in front of those women, angels, I owned Buzzard's Corner of Love. I owned Heather Buzzard, and I owned who I am, whose I am, and what it is I'm here to be, do, and have. Like I said in that video, I'm a unique creation, and I'm here to carve a niche in this world. And we are all unique creations. What is your niche that you're willing to leave, or your footprint mark that you're willing to leave here on earth? Check out that video, angels. It's posted on our YouTube page. Let it uplift, inspire you to be, do, and have something different so that you can embrace new transitions, so that you can have new beginnings in your life, because it all works together. And if you don't think so, ask yourself the last time it was that you tried to start something new with an old mindset. I haven't heard anybody that has created a new way of being, doing, or having by being, doing, and having the same thing. You cannot fit a square peg into a round hole. So if you're going to try to do the same thing and think you're going to have a different experience, that is insanity. You have to be willing to shift your mindset and open yourself up to a new perspective. You don't have to. Yet, if you choose to move forward in life and get out of the stuckness that you may be experiencing, that's what it takes, an open mindset. And angels, I tell you, for those who aren't consciously aware, the energies that are infiltrating this planet is an energy of feminine energy. And that energy is a softness, it's a gentleness energy. And it is no coincidence, angels, that I am at this age stepping into my feminine energy and allowing myself to feel that softness and to know that softness isn't weakness, that silence is strength, that standing in my queendom is God's queendom, and in embracing all of that, in order for me to embrace all of that, to have the experience that I had last Saturday, to own who I am, I chose to release the past. I put it in book form. You don't have to do that. I chose to put it in book form and release the past. And I can remember, angels, Spirit told me last year when I started writing this book, your life won't move forward until you write this book. At that time, I didn't understand what Spirit meant. Yet now I do. Because in order for life to move forward for any of us, angels, we have to be willing to let go of the past. So, what way are you willing to let go of the past? Your aunt, uncle, cousin, parent, sister, brother, whatever they may have done to you, however many years ago, you cannot change that. And you may say, well, if I forgive them, then I'm letting them off the hook. No, if you forgive them, you're letting yourself off the hook, and then you will experience freedom. And I used to have that mindset. Well, if I forgive my father, and if I forgive my birth mother, or if I forgive my brother and all of that, then they're just getting away with something. No, key is to forgive myself so that I could move forward. And it took me a while to really understand that forgiveness is freedom. And angels, I'm a living testimony. Try it yourself. Forgiveness is freedom. And that is key if you want to have a happy life. I'm going to share with you 5 key aspects that will help you. And we spoke about some, but I'll share 5 key aspects. Limiting beliefs, regrets, and old habits. Are you hanging on to limiting beliefs, regrets, and old habits? Because if you are, how do you expect to change that? Knowing that you can't go back in the past, knowing that whatever's happened in the past is done and over, what do you get from hanging on to old memories, old ideas, old hurts, or old ways of thinking? That's the question you need to ask yourself. Because I tell you, angels, when I sat down to write this book, I asked myself, are you really ready, Heather, for the world to see how you were at that time in life? Yet I said to myself, it isn't about me. It's about letting go of what was and standing in who I am. So I'm going to ask you that, angels, are you willing to let go of your past so that you can stand in who God made you to be? Wholesome, loving, joyful, happy, content, peaceful, abundant, prosperous. I can go on. Or do you choose to continue to hang on to something that you can't change? Only you can answer that. Setting a clear goal in your life. Doesn't have to be a big one, but you can define that goal and make it attainable so it can guide you in a new direction. A very small goal can guide you in a new direction. And when you're in that new direction, angel, other things will break off from that. If you don't think so, I'll give you another example. When I was there Saturday at that speaking opportunity and speaking with those ladies about my book, afterwards, I had the opportunity to sell my book, pass out my cards and information. And a lady came and asked me if I would be willing to speak at their church. And she asked me what I charged. And I told her, a minimal fee for a church. And so another opportunity came from that. So my whole point is when you step into new beginnings and new opportunities, things will branch off from that, and it will lead you in the direction to where you need to be. That is a way of setting goals. Now, I myself personally don't set goals. I'm not a goal setter. Yet, I just put out in the universe what I'd like to experience, and I move towards that. But for those of you who do set goals, this is a good way to help you turn your abstract hopes into actionable plans. I just go straight to action. Adopting a growth mindset. Do you have a growth mindset? Because if you do, then you can develop new habits. New mindset, new habits. And I'm in that space, angels, where I'm in between letting go of the old and embracing the new. And it's like a middle. And a part of me is letting go of what you know and what you're so used to and what you're comfortable with. Yet, what I'm moving towards is even better. And instead of having that resistance and inner battle within myself, I've chosen to be gentle with myself because, again, I was talking to my buddy and he said, don't beat yourself up about it. So, angels, I'm reminding you, don't beat yourself up about where you may be, yet know that you have an opportunity to have a new mindset. A growth mindset challenges opportunities, and it gives you a growth mindset. You view challenges as opportunities to learn rather than personal failures. You won't take it as a personal failure. You'll look at it as, okay, I had the opportunity to grow. I wrote this book. I didn't look at it as a personal failure. I said, this is my opportunity to grow. And angels, I'll be gosh darn if I haven't grown because of this. I've let this go and it has become a story. It's a story. It isn't even who I am. And that's the whole point about letting go of your past. Make it a story. Don't make it about who you are today. Creating new routines. Develop new habits. Align with your new goals and establish accountability to maintain the momentum of them. Be accountable to yourself. Maybe have a friend, set a goal with a friend, and you guys can be accountable to each other. Or if you're in a group setting and you have a group goal, then you have accountability. Or even if you just have it on a schedule and you wake up every morning and you be accountable for it yourself. But accountability does make a difference, angels, because when you're accountable for what it is that you choose to be, do, and have, you will see those small steps take shape into something. I kid you not, when I created Buzzard's Corner of Love, 14 years ago, I had no clue what this would be. I just started out blog writing on blogger.com back then. And Spirit said, get up and write. So I just started to get up and write. Little did I didn't know at that time that after writing for 5 years, I would go into radio. Didn't know after radio for 5 seasons that I would come into YouTube. Didn't know coming into YouTube that I would go on to speaking on virtual stages, speaking in person. My whole point in telling you this, angels, is that when you have that new mindset and you have a growth mindset and you listen to that inner voice within your guidance, spirit will never lead you wrong and will give you all the tools you need to make it to where you're supposed to be. I had no clue this would be 14 years ago when I started writing. Yet I heard Spirit and I adhered to what Spirit said. Develop new habits that align with new goals, and like we said, establish accountability. Acknowledge that change is hard. It is hard. It isn't easy because we've been so used to one way of thinking or one way of doing something or one way of just it being that way without even questioning. Yet, if we desire to have new experiences in our life, angels, we have to be willing to do something new. If you're bored with your life, why is that? You're the creator of your life? You're the one that's creating it. I had to ask myself that question just the other day. I was bored. And I was like, Heather, why are you bored? You shouldn't be bored. You're creating. You can do whatever you choose. I wasn't bored with life. I wasn't doing anything with my energy. So what did I choose to do? I went and I listened to some harmonics. I did some reading. I sat outside. I did things to help me. I apologize, angels. I did things that would help shift my mindset. And in shifting that mindset, angels, that helped me get out of that funk. And that's part of being accountable. I was accountable because nobody else was going to get me out of that funk except for me. So let me ask you, when you're in a space where you want to embrace these new transitions, but you find yourself resisting that, do you talk with yourself in a positive manner and be and do and have things to get you up out of that space? Or do you talk to yourself in a negative manner to just stay in that space? Because if you're willing to stay in a negative space, good luck. Life is a forward motion. Energy is a forward motion. And angels, we are beings of energy. And energy is always constantly moving. And if we, our human selves, don't move with that energy, then we get frustrated, upset, angry, sad, sick, jealous, all kinds of negative emotions that we don't have to experience. We all believe that we're God's children. Well, most of us believe that we're God's children. Yet, I have to ask you, do you really believe that you're God's child? And you may say, well, why are you asking me that? Because I will say, if you truly believe that you are God, a child of God, and an aspect of God, a part of God, God does not lack. God isn't negative. God uplifts, inspires, encourages. God is good. We say God is good all the time, all the time. God is good, positive, abundant, prosperity, all good things. So are you doing and having that? Or are you serving your ego, which is your earth guide only? And ego's good. A healthy ego is good. Yet to embrace new transitions and new beginnings, angels, healthy ego has to be in place because your ego can talk you out of doing, having something. So having a healthy ego benefits you. So egos are good if they're healthy. Yet if your ego is unhealthy, it doesn't serve you. Living testimony, angels. In my book, my ego at this time didn't serve me at the time, or so I thought. Yet, in a roundabout way, because God is good and takes all that is negative and uses it for our good, it did. Yet at the time, my ego did not serve me. So between this person here that was born at 6 weeks old into this household to who I am, a woman of 55 today, I have a healthy ego because I've made friends with it. And that's all a part of embracing transitions and embracing new beginnings. If you have a healthy ego, you have a healthy mindset, angels, you're able to embrace new beginnings and new transitions in your life. And I guarantee you, when you embrace new beginnings and new transitions, you have new experiences. When you have new experiences in your life, you feel good about who you are. And when you feel good about who you are, you just let out that energy and people attract towards that. A couple of weekends ago, I had the experience going to my first makeup session ever at Macy's. That was phenomenal. And I've been wearing makeup ever since, and it builds up confidence. What can you do for yourself to help build up your confidence? Because if you're waiting for outside approval, or if you're waiting for somebody or something to give you that, you will continue to wait. The only person who has control of your life is you. And knowing that, what do you choose to do with your new beginnings as you embrace new transitions so that you can have a new way of life? That's the question that you need to answer yourself. Angels, I tell you, this month, new beginnings, I've experienced them. I've embraced these transitions. I'm still still working on letting go of the old. I'm still working on it. Yet I'm moving towards that. And that's a good thing. And I know it's a good thing. And again, friends with my ego. And when you're friends with your ego, angels, you can talk with your ego, and your ego will serve you. So I ask you this question. I'll leave you with this. All that we've learned this month with new beginnings, you have the opportunity, if you so choose to take this information, implement it in your life, step out tomorrow and embrace new beginnings, embrace new transitions, new mindsets, all of it. We've given you all the information that you need. Take it, use it in your life, and run. And have fun while you're doing it. Don't kick and scream like I used to do. Don't do that. Have a good time. Enjoy yourself and be gentle with yourself, angels. That's the key to having fun with life. So we've wrapped that up as our theme of the month, New Beginnings, with embracing transitions. Next week, angels, our theme of the month is universal flow. And we're going to kick it off with trusting that flow. That's going to be our topic. Universal flow is the theme of the month. Trusting the flow is the topic for next week. Angels, my book, Breaking Shame, Reclaiming My Identity, is available now on Amazon.com. You can pick that up. Hardback, softback, and ebook form, all available on Amazon.com. Angels, you can always go to BUZZARDSKORNER.com, BUZZARDSKORNER, Buzzards Corner with the K.com. Angels, if you'd like support, we're here to guide you. We have coaching packages available. We're here to uplift, inspire, and encourage you on your path in life. Start or end your day with a positive blog post over there, angels. There's that and so much more information. You can follow us on all the social sites, angels. Check out our video right here on our YouTube channel for our new beginnings that we experienced last weekend. I tell you, angels, I owned who I am, and you can own yourself too. I didn't know what that meant until I knew what it meant. And you too will know what it means when you own who you are. Angels, I am so blessed, so grateful to have you here today. Thank you. I see you. I am so blessed and grateful to have you guys here today. Angels, like, subscribe to our channel, share this with others, let other people know who Buzzard's Corner of Love is, what it is that we be doing, have, uplift, inspire, and encourage, and get this message out into the world. Again, angels, next month, our theme of the month is Universal Flow, and our topic is Trusting the Flow. So until next week, angels, I am Heather Buzzard of Buzzard's Corner of Love, bringing people back to themselves.